All right, back in action for part 2 of our sugar skull eye. Let's take our ellipse tool. We're going to flip-flop, make sure our fill's black. I'm going to come into this empty white space right here, and you can see my smart guides on. I'm going to kind of line that up in the center, hold Shift and Option, and going to make a little dot that fits in there. That didn't quite work like I wanted, so let's zoom in on the eyes to make this a little bit easier. So zoom tool, click and drag, zoom in on the eyes. Let's try this again. We're going to line that up somewhere in the center, Shift and Option. Mine says 0.35 inches, somewhere around there will be fine. We'll take our selection tool, so V on the keyboard. I'm going to Option drag this down, holding Option key, and then I'm going to hit Shift with my other finger so it stays lined up. Let our smart guides line this up perfectly, and let go of the mouse before the keyboard. Next, I want to hold Shift and select both of those ellipses. Right click, transform, and we are going to rotate by 45 degrees and make a copy. And we can duplicate that action since we haven't done anything else. If we hit Command D for duplicate, it will do the last action, which is rotate a copy by 45 degrees, and do that a couple times till you have circles and all the white spots like that. Next up, I'm going to take another ellipse tool. This time we're going to make this one white. Whoops. Let's deselect those first. Now we'll take our ellipse tool and we're going to come in here and I'm going to line it up again in the center, something like that. I'm going to hold Shift and Option, drag that out. See, mine's about 0.12 inches and we want the fill to be white. I'm going to take my white arrow. Actually, let's do this first. Let's do the pen tool. And I'm going to hold Option with the pen tool. I'm going to click the top, the bottom. Then I'm going to take my selection tool and I'm going to zoom in so we can see what we're doing. Zoom in, there we go. Take my black arrow and I'm going to pull in the side a little bit like that. Take the other one, pull in the side a little bit like that. We have kind of that teardrop shape, okay? Command minus to zoom out a little bit so we can see the whole eye. Ignore the fact that we can't quite see that shape right now. That's okay. We're going to take the rotate tool, R on the keyboard, and we want to rotate around the center of the eye. So I'm going to hold Option and click on the center. And we're going to do a little bit of math. We're going to turn preview on. A circle is 360 degrees. Backslash to divide. We're going to let Illustrator do the math for us, even better. And let's say we make 30 copies and click copy. Or 30 degrees, right? So we're divided by 30. We want 30 of these, and it makes one copy for us. Knowing Illustrator magic, we want to duplicate that last step. Command D, and it's going to duplicate. I'm just hitting Command D until it goes all the way around and fills in. Hit Command 0 to zoom out. Take my selection tool and click off. Now you can see we have a cool looking eyeball. Let's highlight that. Group it, object group, and then I'm going to hold Option. I'm going to drag out another one and hold Shift so it's lined up nicely like that. And I want the left and the right to be about the same distance from the skull, something along those lines. Now I'm going to hold Shift and kind of move these over like that, and I'm just kind of eyeballing it. Look at what we got there. Boom, boom, boom. All right. So it's about the same distance. I'm going to hold Shift, make sure both of those selected. I'm going to group them. So now they're one shape. The reason why we're grouping them is we're about to use the Align tool, and we want them to move as one shape. If we didn't group them, they would move separately. Then with this still selected, I'm going to hold Shift, and I'm going to click on my skull. So my eyes and my skull are both selected. I'm going to come up to our Align tool right above Pathfinder. I want to make sure Align to Selection is chosen, or actually Align to Key Object. And let's make the skull the key object. So we're going to select that. And we are going to horizontal align center, just to make sure it's perfect in the middle. And then if I turn on my grid, I'm going to click off, click on the eyes, and I'm just going to move until the dots touch my grid, turn them off. Now we have Sugar Skull eyes, looking pretty cool.